nutshell. Ripple brings $700 million RLUSD stablecoin to Africa. This is a very impressive arrangement on behalf of Ripple. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. So Ripple launches RLUSD through three massive partners. RLUSD will enter Africa with Chipper Cash, Valor, and Yellow Card. Now, Stellar holders, those names, they probably rang a bell. Yes, those are the same Chipper Cash and Yellow Card who are anchors on the Stellar network. But now they're bringing in Ripple to the conversation. And granted, Ripple has a very long established relationship in Africa, particularly in South Africa. So this is very good. And like I mentioned, South Africa, I believe, will be the next mecca for crypto. There have been multiple billions of dollars that have flown into Africa since 2022 in relation to blockchain technology. You can look those numbers up pretty much anywhere. Now, Chipper Cash, we already know, has an established track record in Africa alongside Yellow Card. VALAR, that's fairly newer to me. But the press release indicates that RLUSD will be used for treasury management and RWAs. That's the perfect place to aim a new product if you're entering a new market. Now, the most important piece to this, though, could actually involve what's already going on in the continent. It's no secret that they have a currency problem. What does a stablecoin, though, fix? Currency problems. Because what you're running into in other countries is inflation. The value of their dollar plummets overnight in some cases. A stablecoin backed by a stronger fiat currency that can be transacted across borders, almost feeless, will change the game in Africa. I'm going to share a number with you here. A May report from TechPoint Africa says remittances, and this is from 2025, remittances in sub-Saharan Africa cost 8.3%. Now, if you don't know what that means, imagine you wanted to send $200. Well, depending on what country you're sending it to in Africa, it might cost you $16 or $25 to send 200. That's a problem because when you scale that up, let's say you have to send 100,000 to a partner you got in Africa. Depending on which country you sending it to, if they don't take it from you, you gonna pay about 25 to $3,000 to move that money. So there is a real life problem in Africa that this technology, this digital technology, is going to solve. So from that perspective, this is genius. Much like I said when TD Markets and Shift Markets picked Stellar to issue the South African Rand on. Africa needs a stablecoin. And to make this even better, South African Reserve Bank, just read this morning as well, greenlit non-bank fintechs to the national payment system. It means exactly what you think it does. This means crypto companies like Ripple can have access to the national payment system. It makes it even better that you have a stable currency in which to do so. So this further explains why Ripple decided to go with a stablecoin in the first place, because this problem isn't just kin to Africa. It happens in South America. It happens in parts of Europe and parts of Asia. There are so many currencies in the world, yet the one that is the most dominant is the US dollar. Knowing that, what do you think is happening to people who either can't access a US dollar or only know the currency that they grew up with? When a stable coin hits that area, there's no turning back now. There's no turning back at this point. And with the, like I said, South African Reserve Bank just green lighting non-bank fintechs access to the national payment system. Come on, man. When I was reading into this, which company was it? Chipper Cash. They have now connected the Brazilian international payment system, PIX. Down the road, potentially, ROUSD could end up in that system as well. I believe that all of these stable coins will be embedded into domestic payment systems across the world, ultimately creating a global payment network where we know of certain players who are in the blockchain world and not in the blockchain world who are building infrastructure to support it. So the choice to go to Africa is downright genius. And I'm going to tell you that anytime. And like I said, Ripple has worked in Africa before. In 2023, they teamed up with On Afrique to bring Ripple payments to Africa and the UK. That's another one. 2025, in March, that's when Chipper Cash initially teamed up with Ripple, essentially to do the same thing. This time focused strictly in Africa. Ripple payments will be used. So that does bring in the XRP ledger. Then we have the Mercy Corp's work in Kenya. This one involves ROUSD on ETH, but I'm more so interested in the disbursement use case. They're using the ROUSD to pay pastors in communities in Kenya. Never saw that one coming. But if it allows these pastors to build churches to get people closer to God, what can we really say? All right, what can we really say at that point? That's just fantastic. Now, there are caveats to this story. Okay, we got to keep it balanced. We got to keep it fair. We got to keep it 100 around here. Crypto still isn't completely legal across the entire continent. It's mainly in South Africa. But with the South African Reserve Bank letting fintechs have access to the national payment system, if they bear fruit and it's good, it's delicious, I know the rest of the continent is going to want to come and get some as well. That is why I'm saying Africa is the next Mecca, because it hasn't been activated yet. All the other countries in the world, they get it. To some extent, they get blockchain, they get crypto. They get why the United States has 500 billion of it just sitting in a reserve somewhere. They understand that. But Africa has not been activated. And Africa, when it comes to tech savviness, smarter than everyone else. When it comes to age of workforce, younger than everyone else. So the next generation is going to be largely supported by Africans. And they're leading with blockchain. There's numbers on this, guys. I'm not just blowing smoke. There are numbers on this. You can look this stuff up. So ROUSD entering Africa. That is a very smart play. That is how I will tell you that 100 times over in relation to this story.